I also want to recognize the family members of hostages held by Hamas who are with us here tonight. Our prayers are with you, and we will do everything in our power to bring your loved ones home and reunite your families. And finally, I also want to acknowledge Douglas Murray for his work as one of the preeminent defenders of Western civilization. In print and in debate, Doug has been a steadfast defender of truth in the midst of endless lies during Israel's war for survival. So Doug, thank you, and I look forward to our conversation in a few moments. And I do mean a few moments, not how a senator means that, which would be 45 minutes. But I do have to say we are gathered here at a dangerous moment. Since the horrors of the October 7th attacks, we have witnessed the rapid rise of the radical anti-Semitic left, both at home and abroad. In the past year, left-wing radicals have attacked Jews outside a synagogue in Los Angeles, assaulted police in the streets of New York, and erected disgusting little Gazas on college campuses all across America. Left-wing activists have donned terrorist headdresses and chanted things like "globalize the Intifada," "death to Israel," and "from the river to the sea." Ivy League professors praised the October 7th attacks as exhilarating, awesome, an extraordinary day. Students have worn Hamas headbands, flown the Hezbollah flag, and burned the American flag. If you ask me, there are some simple solutions to these acts of hate. The students should be expelled from college. Their professors should be rebuked. Their encampments should be destroyed. Any foreign students engaged in these crimes should have their visas revoked and be deported. And anyone who committed a crime or vandalized federal statues should be arrested and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Unfortunately, Vice President Kamala Harris has a very different message. She said that she agrees with Joe Biden, who, remember, said he thinks pro-Hamas radicals have a point. She said these anti-Semites show what, quote, human emotion should be, and that she respects their voices. She refused to provide at a joint session of Congress when Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke, which, by the way, is one of her only jobs as vice president under our Constitution. And then she lectured him privately lectured him after they met privately. Just today, you may have heard that her vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, said that we need to put on leverage. Leverage against who? Against Hamas to destroy them or to release their hostages? Leverage on their patrons around the Middle East? No, leverage on Israel to capitulate. And he said all of these pro-Hamas protesters in Michigan are protesting for the right reasons. Look, we know that Kamala Harris will appease terrorist sympathizers in her party if she's elected, because she already does. In March, she called for an immediate ceasefire that would have saved Hamas battalions from destruction. She opposed, as she said, any type of military operation in Rafah, where she knew American and Israeli hostages were being held. Why? Because she had studied the maps. And she's repeatedly called over and over for an immediate ceasefire without, I would add, demanding the immediate release of American and Israeli hostages. The vice president is also complicit in the Biden administration's partial arms embargo on Israel, which goes far beyond the 2,000-pound bombs that's reported in the media. Last month, she said that she would consider instituting a full arms embargo on Israel. And she's also said that she is ruling out nothing to pressure Israel to capitulate. The Biden-Harris administration has repeatedly put more pressure on Israel than on Hamas or its patrons in Iran. Only this weekend, Hamas murdered 6 hostages, including a 23-year-old American named Hirsch Goldberg Poland. Instead of condemning the savage animals who killed these hostages, Joe Biden had the gall to blame Benjamin Netanyahu, proving that Joe Biden is as morally unsuited for the office he holds as he is physically and mentally unfit for it. What we should do is not undermine Israel. We should back Israel to the hilt. And there's only one acceptable outcome in this war. It is the defeat and the destruction of Hamas. There is and there can be, as evidenced by the last 11 months, no such thing as peaceful coexistence with these genocidal maniacs. And don't even get me started about Iran and Kamala Harris. She also supported more than $100 billion in sanctions relief to Iran, the world's worst state sponsor of terrorism. Tens of billions of dollars since the October 7th attacks. According to intelligence reports, Iran is now trying to undermine our election in her favor. Unsurprisingly, because there's no doubt that Kamala Harris is the candidate of the Ayatollahs. By contrast, Donald Trump is the candidate of American strength, confidence, and security. With President Trump back in office, we will once again bring Iran to its knees. We will once again stand up to terrorists in Lebanon, Syria, Gaza, Yemen, and anywhere else they threaten our people. We will once again strike fear into the hearts of our enemies. This is the most important election for American and Israeli security in living memory. And together, I'm confident that we will win, because I believe in the American people, and I know they reject anti-Semitic hate. They despise terrorism, and they can tell simple right from wrong and good from evil. And there can be no question that America and Israel are on the side of right and good, and our enemies are wrong and evil. Thank you. Thank you all for what you do for our great nation. God bless you. God bless the United States of America, and God bless Israel.